talked about is you said it's not the business name that's on the policy, it's the owner's personal name. And I see that all the time with people that are starting businesses and social service organizations. When it's a social service organization, I like to call them social service entrepreneurs because they are entrepreneurs. Make no bones about it. They're starting something new. They're bringing a dream to life from scratch. And what I see really, really often is that the organization they start has no money, has no assets, has no resources to go out and get money. And so they have to inject their personal name into it. They'll bring their personal house, they'll bring their personal vehicle, and they will use those assets to help run the organization until the organization is strong enough to stand on its own. But from an insurance perspective, I wanted you to talk a little bit deeper about why that's a problem in terms of having the right name on the policy, because it seems small, it seems like a really picky detail, but it's really, really important. Could you dive in a little bit deeper about why names are important on the insurance policy?
Absolutely. And like you said, especially with a lot of these entrepreneurs, they say, well, I am the business. And that is true. However, you have a business name, you have an entity. And so legally, when you to go to court, one, you're signing these agreements in your legal name, your entity name. So if you were to go to court, your policy is going to cover who the named insured is, which is the name on the policy, not just because you have a name on the policy.
And so when I'm having this conversation with people, I like to talk about the corporation as if it's in the owner as if it's Jim and Sally. So Jim's the owner, Sally's the business. Jim can only insure Jim's problems and what Jim owns. Sally can only insure what Sally owns. Sally can't insure Jim because if something happens to Jim, Sally's fine. And Jim can't insure Sally because if something happens to Sally, Jim's fine. And that's the issue we've got here, especially for early onset sober homes and recovery programs. When owners mix the two things, that insurance policy has to list the sober home on the policy in order for there to be coverage.
Yes, yeah, that's where people start scrambling, is because especially in those situations, we hear it time and time again with people we work with. They're like, well, I went to my agent who has my homeowner's insurance. I went to my agent in my local town. I went to my friend's agent, and when they say they're Joe Smith, they're happy to insure them all day long. But as soon as they find out their next level sober living home, the majority don't have a market, don't know how to work with them, cannot handle them. And so that's when they start saying, hey, sorry, I can't do what you need help doing because of the type of business you are. The market really starts limiting them. And that's when you need someone who knows and has experience in working with your type of business, because every business is unique.